Idaho. Detectives revealing the initial 911 call came from one of the surviving roommates' cell phones. Police also saying for the first time that there were several other friends at the house when that 911 call came in, which of course was hours after the actual murders themselves. Now, despite these details, police tonight still have no suspect, no weapon, no motive. Camilla Bernal is out front in Moscow, Idaho.
This incident has shaken our community, and we continue to mourn for the victims.
More than a week after the killings of 4 University of Idaho students, the mystery over who murdered them only deepens. As investigators search the crime scene, police revealing who is not considered a suspect, beginning with the 2 roommates asleep in the home, as 4 others were stabbed to death. How does one individual kill 4 people at night and not wake up the other 2 roommates?
I don't even know that information at this point in time. That's why we're continuing to investigate.
But police able to clear the roommates as suspects, adding that one of their phones was used to place the 911 call just before noon that day. The initial caller not revealed, and police say several people talked to the dispatcher.
There was other friends that had arrived at the location.
Those friends first called over by the roommates when they thought one of the victims was passed out and not waking up. Also cleared as a suspect, a man Kaylee Gonzalez called several times after she got home at 1:45 a.m. Her family says it was an ex-boyfriend and that they never suspected him.
He is not a suspect. He's not suspicious. He is 100% innocent in this.
Police also cleared as a suspect someone seen in video from a food truck that 2 of the victims visited that night, and a driver that picked up Gonzalez and Madison Logan to bring them home after visiting the food truck.
A homicide by stabbing.
The murder weapon we know is a fixed blade knife, generally much stronger than a kitchen knife, and commonly used in hunting. Police say all 4 victims were likely sleeping at the time of the attack, but some possibly woke up and defended themselves.
There were stab wounds on the hands of at least one of the students that make it appear that it would be defensive wounds.
Authorities canvassing neighborhoods for clues and additional video as flyers reading "Please help" appeared around the neighborhood. Kaylee Gonzalez's mother telling NBC she's urging the killer to end the mystery. The guilt has got to be just overwhelming. It's got to be sickening. Stop hiding, stop running. And all of these families want to find the killer. They want answers, they want justice. But in the meantime, they're also planning funerals. Ethan Chapin's, the 20-year-old, his funeral is happening as we speak. Cameras were not allowed inside of the service, but his mother spoke before that service. She was extremely emotional, saying that her son is one of the most incredible people you'll ever meet. They asked everyone to wear blue because he is a triplet, and blue was his triplet color.
Joining me now is host of HLN's Real Life Nightmare, retired cold case investigator Paul Holes. Paul, great to see you. What do you make of this case so far, particularly what seems to be the scarcity of information, or at least lack of publicly released information? Do you think that maybe authorities know more than they're revealing?
Well, there's no question that authorities know more than what they're revealing. But I think, as I'm watching this case and watch it unfold, I think authorities are still trying to figure out exactly what they're dealing with. Initially they came out and said, this appears to be a targeted attack. There's no concern to the rest of the public. But then since then, they've retracted that. And I believe as they investigate this case, they're starting to realize it's maybe more complicated than what they first thought.
How so?
Well, I believe what's happening is that you have 4 victims, and this is obviously a huge case. It's very complicated. And when they went into this crime scene, they likely saw that maybe 1 or 2 of the victims had more violence inflicted on them. The offender spent more time with them, and they thought, okay, these were the intended targets, and that the other victims in the house were secondary. So they focused their initial investigation that, it's going to be something, a relationship, some sort of prior interaction that the offender had with those particular victims. However, when that didn't pan out, now I think what their understanding is that there's a possibility that the offender, the killer, is a complete stranger to these victims, and that the reason that they're seeing that some of the victims had more violence on them was due to the circumstances as the violence was being inflicted.
The details we mentioned about the hours leading up to the murders, how crucial is the timeline, and maybe how far would you go back looking?
Well, the timeline is absolutely crucial. It's possible that night, that while the victims are out, enjoying their college years, that the offender could have interacted with them or have seen them and followed them back. So that is absolutely mandated to follow up on. However, right now they've only released information of the victims' timelines for that evening. And oftentimes killers make the decision to kill within 72 hours, 3 days before the attack. So they need to go back and actually figure out, well, what's been going on in these victims' lives 3 days prior to this attack, if not further.
We just got about 30 seconds left. Can you wrap your head around the fact that there were 2 other roommates who seemed to have slept through the murders and were not attacked?
Well, from afar, you have 6 people inside this house, 4 are killed. For me, it's where are these victims inside the house? These 2 roommates may have been in a house that's more isolated than where the other victims were, and that's why they were spared, or they weren't the target of this particular offender.
Paul Holes, we appreciate your time tonight helping us understand, which at this point is really still a big mystery.